Hey, welcome back, everybody. We got my favorite deck out of set 14, Zerith Phantom. Finally, all of the cards got in. Really excited to show it off and talk about it. So, one of the things I want to say, because I know prices are a little wonky, right? Because everyone's super hyped for the new form of Zerith and stuff like that. Uh, Play style wise, if you enjoy something like Levidras, which has like you're trying to do this kind of grind game with your opponent. If you like that kind of style, like this deck is going to be right up your alley. So I highly recommend if you ever get the chance to pick it up. And if it's not your style, I still recommend to pick it up because I think the deck's really cool. But we're going to go right on in to this deck profile, starting with the ride line. So we have the grade 0 Zerith, the grade 1 Zerith. The grade 1 Zerith has the same ability as the Bear Crea grade 1, which lets you grab the 3 set orders from deck and put them into your order zone. And all the set orders do the exact same thing, but it's perfectly fine. Uh, this is the different part, though. The grade 2 Zerith, uh, the Bear Crea ride line let you like look at top 7 and mill 2, whereas this one lets you, when it's ridden over by the grade 3, you search your deck for a deck or damage for an order and send it to the graveyard. And then you get the ability to play 2 orders that turn, which is really cool because it lets you kind of fix how your hand looks in a way. Because if you're like, hey, it's not looking like I'm gonna hit like the moons because I didn't hit my cycler that well. You can just send a moon to graveyard and you'll have it set up for later, which is really nice. Or if you haven't seen her specific order yet, you can send that to the graveyard too. And then lastly, we have Zerith Phantom. Really glad I was able to pick up a DSR because I think this is like it's probably one of the prettiest DSRs we've had in a while. I think it's really nice. But basically, what she does is her Phantom skill lets you remove up to 4 moons, but you can only do this once per game. So if you get rid of 3, and then you're like, hey, I found the last one, you can't do anything with that last one pretty much. So it's normally best to find all 4, but you get rid of 4 moons or up to 4 moons, and then you pick triggers from your drop that aren't the over trigger equal to the number of moons you got rid of, and you shuffle them back to deck. So it's really cool because you can kind of grind through the game, and then once you've deck thinned enough, you can just shuffle 4 triggers back, and you have very high trigger chances. This is kind of like Stokia's Rezael, which is the easiest way I could put it. And then her other ability is Counterblast 1. You make a Phantom Zerith token to your back row center, and it can do 1 drive check, so it can't do twin drive. Uh, and then basically on the card, all it says is she can do one. She gets 1 drive check, and end of turn she has to send herself to graveyard on your opponent's turn. But otherwise, she is a 10k shield onto your opponent's turn, which is really nice. So it helps you kind of make up for any lacking defense you might have. I mean, free 10k shields are free 10k shields. Going into the main deck, we're going to start with all the orders and the Persona Ride real quick. So I do have. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? There it is. I have 3 Persona Rides, and I have Twin Cast. I did also pick up the secret. I do really like this deck. I think this deck's super cool. But we're using Twin Cast because we play in order every turn, so it is very important that we are able to free up that slot. You could play Fire Regalis, but again, this deck kind of wants to be like grindy, so I'd rather have the extra defense. Obviously, the 3 orders that we get off of our grade 1. Basically, if you guys did not look at the Bear Crea profile, this one you can tap it to give +5 to one of your units. This one, the first time you tap it, you get to draw a free card. Afterwards, it becomes a draw and discard. And this one, you get to bring something back from your graveyard, but it can't activate its on play abilities, which is perfectly fine. It kind of sucks because you have a really good on play grade 2 that you would like to do every turn, but I guess it would be kind of broken if it had that ability. So that is it for the personas and that set order, and we'll go into the main orders of the deck, which will be, we'll start with the most basic one, which is 4 copies of the moon. You don't need to have this special one if you want. Like, you could just play the rare if like budget's tight. I always recommend picking this one up for this deck though, because even drawing a trigger is kind of nice because you get extra defense, and then you can shuffle it back to the deck later. But that's just my opinion. And then 4 copies of Phantom Grand Magic Guild Randor. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I hope I did. But this one, you can play it from your drop, similar to the Bear Crea order, and you pay it with a Soul Blast of 1. And basically, you give all of your Phantom units +5, but if you have 3 or more of these bound, you give +10 instead, which is really cool. So basically, on the 3rd turn of activating this, you will have +10 to your whole board, which it takes a while, but that's perfectly fine. The other cool thing is the moon can search this specific card, which is really cool. So that is it for our order count right there. Moving on to the grade 2s, we're a little more grade 2 heavy. The grade 1s aren't as important in this deck, but we're playing 4 copies of our main beater, which is Fontaine. So Fontaine has a really good ability that when she's placed, for every Phantom unit that you have on your field, uh, you get to, when you counterblast one, you get to look at the top number of those cards and add any card, and then send a Phantom card to the graveyard or an order card. So if you have, I mean, the easiest setup, right? If you have this in hand, this is your Vanguard. You counterblast one to make your token. If you call this, you're looking at top 3, which is really good. And then anything else you could have, like if you call another Fontaine, you're looking at top 4. It's just a really nice card, and it helps with this whole deck thinning strategy that this deck is clearly on. Its other abilities, every time your grade 3 Phantom attacks, she gets +5. So you're getting +10 as soon as you hit grade 3, which is really nice. And if you played the set order, she's already got her extra 5. So against a grade 2 Vanguard, she's swinging for 25, which is just really solid. We've got 4 copies of Lamina. Lamina is a moon cycle, so basically just when discarded during ride phase, you either Soul Blast or you Energy Blast 3 to grab the moon from your deck to hand. And then if you guard with her, you can either Counter Blast or Energy Blast 3 to draw a card. It's really nice to have. I think this might be my favorite. I mean, I know I'm a big Stokia guy, but this might be my favorite of the Mooncycler arts, so I think that's really cool. I have 2 copies of Rancor Spear Trooper. For anyone who has not seen this card before, it is a continuous, gets +5 for each order that you have in your bind zone. So the idea is by the time that you do your Phantom skill, you should probably have maybe 2 of these bound, and then you'll get rid of these 4. That's just a free +30 to him. Like he gets ridiculous, and if you get more of the Phantom Grand Magic bound, he just gets bigger and bigger. So he's kind of the reason I say we're playing the long game is because we want to get this super big so that every turn we just say, hey, threaten Perfect Guard or your entire hand. And stacking crits on him is a little scary for most people. And this last spot is kind of up to you. I'm playing an ace unit right now because I don't have another copy of Ghost Chase, so it'd either be Ghost Chase or an ace unit. But basically, the idea is they both fulfill the same purpose, which is looping you a copy of Fontaine, which because you can't use the set order to grab back Fontaine and use her ability, so you have to find a different way to pretty much get her back to hand or field. So the ace unit kind of makes up for that. It's also just like another beater. Like we really don't care about what happens to it. You know, if our opponent like retires it, it's not a big deal. It's just the big thing is we just want to get Fontaine in rotation, keep her going as long as we can. The deck is a little counterblast heavy, but it is perfectly fine. That is it for the grade 2s, and we have a very tiny grade 1 package, which is 4 copies of Signa. So, really funny story about Signa before I go on. I was not aware this card was a rare, so I ordered, and this isn't sponsored, but I ordered the silver bundle off of 50 cards for this deck, and I was like, oh, it's perfect. I get this, and I get, I get Signa, I get Fontaine, I get all the stuff. It's really cool. And then I ordered a booster box of the recent set because I wanted the token because the token was a box topper, and I pulled a regular Fontaine, and I was like, wait, that's a rare? Oh, shoot! So I had to rush to order this because I for some reason I thought the grade 2 elf guy was the rare and this was the double, but I had them mixed up. But basically, what this card does on play from anywhere, you're gonna look at top three and send a card to graveyard, which is pretty bad. Or sorry, not pretty bad. It's pretty good. It's a slightly worse fill, but it's also like not. It can be played from anywhere, which is kind of a perk to it. And the other thing is if you're on Zerith, it's getting 5k shield, which is really nice. So you have a free 10k. So it's got it doesn't get the extra power like Phil does, but as soon as you hit your third turn of the Phantom Grand Magica, you get to you get to be an 18k booster. So it's like it kind of evens out in the long run. And 4 perfect guards, you know them, we love them. We gotta play 4 perfect guards. The trigger lineup is a little it's pretty self-explanatory, but there is like some things that can be changed. We'll talk about Bless Favor first. So you could play Red OT because the you could restand the token and just go token attack, right, and do drive checks for each of them. It's not a horrible gimmick. The issue that I have with it is it requires you to swing with your Vanguard first, meaning you are if you hit a front trigger off of uh, the back rows drive checks and you attack with the token second, you're just kind of whiffing on the effect for one of your attacks, and it just feels awkward. So I'm opting to play Bless Favor because one, it helps us grind, and two, I mean, it's probably one of the best over triggers. We are playing 8 critical triggers. Not a lot to say about that. We like to have extra damage there, and shuffling criticals back is really scary. 3 fronts. So here's the thing with fronts. You could opt to play draws if you want to. The issue is I've sometimes decked out because of it, even with the Phantom skill. So I almost don't think the draws are worth it. But basically, if you want to play draws, you can. Just know it does involve very risky gameplay. And then lastly, ooh, there we go, 4 heals. Not a lot to say about that. I mean, we want to heal as much as we can. Pretty straightforward there. And yeah, that is it for this deck profile. Uh, I feel like it's pretty like straightforward to build. Besides, maybe like a lot of people don't know about the Rancor Trooper, which is perfectly fine. I mean, how else would you know about it if you weren't looking at old commons? Because commons at one point were actually decent. But yeah, that is it for this deck profile. I got a bit coming up. Like we we got Magnolia Phantom coming up. We got Blangdemeyer. We got Blangdemeyer Phantom. We got Vaserug. We got what else we got? We have Youthberg Phantom. Gabrielius Phantom might be a little bit, but he will come up eventually. But yeah, stay tuned, guys. We do have a bit coming up. I did say the last time I recorded, I did say that I was going to film a like sort of special video talking about some of the recent drama because I think it is important to talk about it. I just haven't quite figured out all of my thoughts on it yet. I have most of it down, but I'm trying to figure out, the last little bit of it. So please be patient with that. Hopefully you'll enjoy it when it comes out, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.